No
people are
problem.
going to have as a New Year's resolution or entering in the first quarter is to get to level up when it comes to their reading and their consumption of knowledge. So what's a tip that you can give
No
people?
problem. All right, I'm gonna give you two things. The first thing I'm gonna tell you is to lie, cheat, and steal. To lie, cheat, and steal. Okay. And you are usually your biggest enemy, and I was my biggest enemy. Once I learned to get out of my own way and stop making excuses, my life path changed. Once I began to understand the sunnah a whole lot bigger, how the Prophet Islam was optimistic, and understand that the whole life story is about struggle then progress. When you look at the whole sirah, it's about struggle then progress. Any success you are going to have is going to come after struggle. And the only time success comes before work is really in the dictionary. So learning these small principles make a big difference throughout life, bro.
Yeah, I feel that. And one of the things that it leads into another point that I want us to mention, because so a lot of this conversation is coming out of um, some recent conversations that I've had with brothers. So just for clarity, majority of my client base are Muslim women. I have a small segment of my client base that are brothers. And within that, the majority are brothers that are financially in a good space. But there is a small segment that is working in the right direction, but they're not there yet. And what I found with that segment is emotionally, they're having a tough time dealing with the terrain of marriage or getting married, at rather, not actually, they're not married, but that process of trying to get married is emotionally draining for them. They're handling it in a dysfunctional way, and that's why they reached out. But so that kind of spurred this conversation that I wanted to have with you and I've had with another brothers, and connecting the two things that you said. One of the things that you mentioned earlier is, what have you gotten done? And I'm of the opinion that, like, confidence is something that you earn. And what I find a lot of these brothers are saying, and they're asking in all humility, is, how do you become confident? Where did you get your confidence from? And what I say to them is, you actually just have to do. You have to, one, get out of your way thinking, right? Because of this fear you have if you fail, right? But you have to actually do. You have to get out there and try the things that are going to move you towards the actual goals and the vision that you have. And so the question I would have for you is, and that I would send this to the brothers that are needing of this. If someone asks you, how do you build your confidence? How did you get your confidence? What would you say?
All right, there's two things, two particular things, and I'm glad you brought that up because we come across this thing. Once we learn how to articulate, then that's when we begin losing. All right. As a father of 10 children with my wives, I notice that when my babies are young or were young, my youngest right now, he'll be 5 shortly, inshallah. But before they could speak, you could not stop them. You can say no and maybe delay something, but you're not going to stop them from learning how to walk, from learning how to talk, from how to do anything. But once they began to articulate how to say no, stuff changed. Then they may not feel confident in moving forward. It's like you fell down 3,782 times last week and kept going. You could walk before you thought you could walk, even though you were holding my finger and I was giving you no support, but you can walk. We all went through this process, don't even remember it. We're literally geniuses at that level, at that age, and get dumbed down more and more as we go throughout school and go throughout life. But confidence is very interesting because there's something known in psychology is the confidence competence loop. So there are 4 stages. The first stage is when you are unconsciously incompetent. That means you don't even know that you don't know. You have no clue that you don't know. That's the unconscious incompetence. Then, after introspection, after asking questions and getting clarity, then you know that you don't know. So whether that is how to speak, how to communicate effectively, how to not sit on a live stream like I am right now, not saying, sounding dumb. Sounding dumb. I'm just gonna call it sounds dumb, right? You can be extremely intelligent, just not articulate with saying things, coming off the spot, doing contemporaneous speaking. So you sound dumb. You know, survey-wise, if someone asks you a question, do you like something, and you respond with a one-word sentence like, would you like some ice cream? You say yes. Okay, that's the lowest level of intelligence when measuring it. And then when you learn that, yes, I would like some. Okay, cool. That person sounds more intelligent. Or, yes, I would like some. Thank you. That person sounds that much more intelligent. We're measuring intelligence, even though we have no idea, just by words and communication. But now you're consciously aware. So now instead of saying when you might not catch it in your brain at the time you're having some brain fog or a brain fart, you just pause and you let it come to you normally. Now you're consciously incompetent, since we're talking about the example of communication. Then you are consciously competent. When you are demonstrating that you know how to pause, make eye contact correctly, smile, make sure your posture is okay, knowing that you're giving off a good positive vibe and energy, and you're able to read someone else. You're consciously knowing this, like, I know I'm looking good, I'm smelling good, I'm feeling good, I'm giving the proper vibe. You know, I'm not stuttering or stumbling over my words. I'm here. You're consciously competent. Then, after that level, though, the highest level is unconscious competence, where you don't need to think about it anymore. You can flow. You're in a state of flow by getting there. You're like, yo, okay, I could do this. It's like you're reading a letter and you're reading to the people and you're reading and you're saying something and you're going up and you're down here and up and whatnot. And then the challenge comes to, all right, I'm here. You're looking up at the crowd. Then now it goes to a paragraph or maybe a sentence. You're reading the sentence and then you can move forward. Reading a sentence, then you can move forward. Then it's just bullet points. Then there's no card. So now you can give a speech 45 minutes with just 5 words memorized in your head. So now you have the whole thing down for speaking. That's unconscious competence. So this is the loop. This means that you must do. You must do first. You're not going to learn how to swim, learn how to drive, learn how to ride a bike by thinking about it, studying it, anything. You have to get in the game and actually do it. That's the challenge. All right, that's the challenge.
I appreciate that. That was thorough. That was thorough. And what it brings to me is, now, how do we then apply that to this process of getting married? How do we apply this to this process of making yourself more marketable, more valuable? And that leads into another question we have to discuss about utility. But how does that translate into marriage?
Well, let me finish. I'm going to finish on this part though.
Okay.
On confidence, because there's 2 parts of confidence. There's a psychological confidence competence loop, but there's also this one other part that's so smooth to me that I love it. It's very simple. Confidence, and listen to this definition. Confidence is believing that you have the ability to figure it out. That you have the ability to figure it out. That's it. If you believe in the ability to figure it out, you can put your hand on your chest, you're feeling, you're thinking, you don't have mental issues or challenges. You may not have the answer, but you have the ability to figure it out. I don't care if someone going to a library, going on Google, YouTube, meeting a friend, networking, praying, making Instacart about it, whatever it may be. Having the ability to figure it out, that much should give you enough confidence. You only need enough to make your next best move. Your next best move. You don't need the whole thing in front of you. Allah Ta'ala is the best of planners, not us. But what is it? Whatever the plan is, can I figure it out? As a new Muslim, you're like, oh man, learning this Arabic, learning how to pray, Al-Fatiha, trying to get it right. And 5 times a day and trying to get this and memorize more Quran, and that was a challenge. But as you get into it, you do it, you're good. You getting up, you wake up in the middle of the night, you find it's a blessing. You get these rak'ah tahajjud. You reading Quran 4 pages a day, or 4 pages after every salat, you finish the Quran during Ramadan. These small things are fasting in the wintertime, this easy time to fast. Ramadan will be here in a few months. But then going through the summer, just these little things. But Islam is about discipline, doing those little things. And when you're a new Muslim, when you're a convert, when you accept Islam, you don't even have to know the Al-Fatiha. The Prophet let you know to say these small little things. SubhanAllah, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Do the salat until you learn it. But you learn about spatial repetition, because repetition is the mother of learning. And going into the question that you asked, okay, how do we translate this to marriage? Well, before we get to marriage, we build ourselves up. I let brothers know you need to become more attractive. The fact of the matter is marriage is not that difficult. Marriage isn't that difficult. The difficult part for marriage is being in a happy, fulfilling, and joyful marriage. Mm-hmm. Find a woman to marry. That's not something that's hard. Men have the advantage right now on that. Now, what is attractive? Confidence. Believing in your ability to figure it out. That's attractive universally, especially to women. Because in general, women are there to support. They're not there to, I want to lead this and they want you to lead that. You have the position to do that as a man, as the imam. But it's an attractive trait. Women that struggle with you, if you're struggling, but you have a plan and you move in that direction. But being confident, not egotistical. Remember, we started this talk off dealing with the ego and false confidence. But knowing what your shortcomings are, knowing that you need to grow and you're doing something consistently on that is relatively simple. So what I let brothers know, like I said, 2 things are going to affect your life more than anything else. That's your morals. That's your deen. That's your foundation. Because if that's right, no matter what, you aren't going to harm other people. You aren't going to oppress somebody else. So even if you give it a marriage and stuff doesn't work out, you're not in fear of her being threatened. And if you marry somebody with a man, you're not in fear. Maybe it won't work out, but you're not in fear that she's going to do something wrong to you because she fears a higher power than you. So that's your foundation. If you're doing business, you're not going to take advantage of somebody, not because, oh, they might catch me, but because you self-check, because Allah Ta'ala is the all-knowing. You want your transaction to have barakah. So that's your foundation. The second thing is money, knowing about money. All right, knowing, and when I say money, I say it because it's a general term that we deal with. In general, most people have never even touched money. Money is gold and silver, has these 6 characteristics, so on and so forth. If you don't know the basics of it, then you should really write down, take notes, The Hidden Secrets of Money by Mike Maloney. Watch the free YouTube series and study it. Study it, The Hidden Secrets of Money. Also study The Ascension of Money. It was a 6-part BBC documentary. The Ascension of Money, you'll find it online. Right? Learn about it. Learn about the currency that we deal with. Learn about the World Bank, the IMF, the Federal Reserve System. Learn about that stuff. Learn about the Bretton Woods Agreement in 1944. Learn how it's falling apart right now as we speak, and we must protect ourselves. Learn about these things because it's going to affect you, your life, and your quality of life. And of course, it's attractive when you have that figured out. When you can take care of yourself, you make sure it's coming in as much as possible. You have it spread out in different assets in different areas, different countries. Again, that goes a little bit further. But one is, you know that those 2 things are lifelong studies. Yeah. So what do I suggest? 3 things. 3 things. And this prepares you for marriage because it prepares you as a man. And as a man, and a man that's moving forward, you likely like women. You were created and designed that way. And I suggest all men get ready and prepare themselves to practice polygyny because there, 1, are more women, and 2, it requires you to become a whole lot more than just average. All right? So 3 things. It's the books you read, the audios you listen to, and the people that you hang around. Those 3 things that make a larger difference in your life in the next 5 years, in my opinion, than anything else. The books you read. So whether it's Audible reading the book to you, even though I prefer personal physical books, or you're listening to them on YouTube, but you have a digest, 1 book a week at least. I mean, if you're young and you own it, you have more time than you have the rest of your life. The least amount of responsibilities that you have the rest of your life.
Let me pause you because I know from my sessions what I'll hear with this. Great point. Give me a tip. Give a brother a tip. Give a sister a tip for getting through that book in a week or 2 weeks. What's a tip? Because I'm sure you know that's going to be what people are going to have as a New Year's resolution or entering in the first quarter, is to get to level up when it comes to their reading and their consumption of knowledge. So what's a tip that you can give?
No problem. All right, I'm going to give you 2 things. The first thing I'm going to tell you is to lie, cheat, and steal. To lie, cheat, and steal. Okay? And the second thing I'm going to let you know is about what it's called the slight edge philosophy. And pardon me if I go on a tangent, but it's going to take a few minutes to explain this, break it down.
Hold on. All right. I got coffee. You go all night, bro. And the wife and daughter are
morning, depending
good.
Where you are in the world.
There you go. Let's chop it up. Let's have some good talk.
Let's get it. I'm gonna let a brother know and a sister know. Lie, cheat, and steal. When I first heard this, and I'm sharing information with you that come from my mentors. All right, see, a mentor is not necessarily a friend. They can be a friend possibly, but they're not going to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to tell you what you need to hear. All right, so my mentors asked for my permission. They said, look, Nazir, do I have permission to push you as long as I can push you to the bank? See, I wasn't taking their other lifestyle stuff. I didn't want any of that. I'm Muslim. You know what I'm saying? I didn't need that advice. I need advice on money. And my mentors had it. And it was coming in. They were building organizations, changing people's lives. And I'm like, yo, man, what can I do? They were like, A lot of people say they want it. So he said, lie, cheat, and steal. I'm like, look, bro, I'm Muslim. What are you talking about? Lie, cheat, and steal?
Polygamy what?
Reporting for duty, husband, sir.
Formation. I am Coach Nyla.
I'm his wife, Coach Fatimah.
And I am Coach Nyla. I am also his wife.
And if you think this is how polygamy actually works, you sadly mistaken. Nevertheless, we're the founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships and authors of Let's Talk Polygamy. But I want to talk to you men specifically about the polygamy roadmap, because that's not how it works. Hilarious. I know you were laughing. I know I was just doing it, right? But that's not how it works. So let me talk to the men, kind of share with them what's in the polygamy roadmap and how to actually practice it in a healthy way. All right? All right, good stuff. So here's the deal. There are some requisites that men need to really be successful when it comes to practicing polygyny. There's no surprise. There's no mystery that men really want multiple women. All right? It is what it is. It's in our nature to really be polygynous, if you will. The challenge is being able to do it in modern times, because it is an ancient solution and it's also not for all men, obviously, because there's not twice as many women in the world, first of all, for all men. However, by making yourself more attractive, by making sure you have the 5 requisites down, that makes you that much more attractive. All right. And having your choice of high quality and high value women is totally different than just being average. I'm not telling you to be average. I want you to be outstanding. Average is nothing but the top of the bottom or the bottom of the top. But what I want you to do, go to polygamyroadmap.com. Get access to the men's polygamy roadmap. Yes, we have them for women as well. My wives put that together. But I'm sharing something with you because this comes from somebody who's been practicing it over a decade, over a dozen years already. All right, and we're raising a dozen children. At the beginning, it was a problem, major problem, because we had to do trial and error and try to figure this out and use different skills and going back and forth. And, our year now doesn't look like our year 1, 2, 3, 4, or even year 5. But we had to reverse engineer some things and actually coming across what I consider the secret sauce, if you will, and to be able to put it out there, help empower others. Because there are those who are the creme de la creme. And this is not about cheating or trying to get other people do that all the time. You don't need polygyny for that. Polygyny is for a man's man, for somebody who wants to be twice the man, for somebody who wants to expand, not just talking about building family, not just talking about breaking generational curses, but stepping up to a higher level, accepting that responsibility, the leadership, and the arrows and all the hate that may come with it. Not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. So if you want to know these requisites and you want to measure yourself, get yourself a report card, you want to become more attractive, then go to polygamyroadmap.com, put these principles and these things in your life to minimally be more than twice the average. Because again, average is nothing but the top of the bottom and the bottom of the top. I'm Coach Nazir. I help men get their shift together. So if you're ready to get your shift together and step it up, get to the next level, polygamyroadmap.com. I look forward to hearing back from you on what you learned from it. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.